I thought it's Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is Saturday night at about 7 o'clock. I thought I would get this started just a little early to give YouTube time to catch up and send me actually live. So, oh, there's my hand. And since I started early, it went live right away. So, hello everybody. Appreciate you guys coming. I hope you're having a great weekend and that you have nice weather. We have Georgia's specialty. We have fall weather right now. It is 80 right now, which means it's a little bit warm, but it'll be cool and nice overnight and nice again in the morning. So fall is definitely Georgia's time of the year. Hey, Marva. Hi, Linda. Hi, Carol. Hello, Amy. Hello, Danette. Appreciate you guys coming. All right, so here's our card for this evening. It features a sneak peek of an online exclusive product. Now, this is available to demonstrators right now, or people who join the team right now can actually add this to their starter kit, among other things. This is an online exclusive, and they will be going live to customers on the 5th of November. Hello, Leslie from Australia. Thank you for joining. Hi, Robin and Karen and Lisa and Debbie. And everybody whose name has scrolled by and I haven't called, I am not dissing on you at all. I've just not seen your name. So this is a bundle that has a hybrid embossing folder, which is really fun because this die in particular works with the embossed images in the folder. And I'm going to show you how that works tonight. And then you have all the images here. These are two-step flowers, which are lovely. This image right here is one stamp set and one stamp, and it stamps all three at once, and then that helps you get lined up with the dies, which helps you get lined up with the embossing folder. So let's go ahead and get started. You can see this is the front. I'm going to show you a cute little treatment to make a frame here, and then on the inside I just stamped the large hibiscus. And this is Calypso Coral and Cajun Craze. Interesting. I like the color combination, so I hope you do as well. All right, let's get started. This will all be on my blog, Tamale, so you do not even have to take any notes or nothing. You don't even have to take notes or nothing. Hey, Leslie. Oh, good. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's a good one. Very pretty. I like when you can stamp the fill images. I think that's very cool. Okay, so I have, let's see, this is my emboss and die cut. So I have two pieces of basic white that are 4 inches by 5 1/4. One is going to be the card front. One is going to be the inner liner. So I'm going to set that one aside. I'm going to use my trimmer. So I've got 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go around 4 times and score some lines. So we're going to start with a 1/4 inch line. So I'm just going to put this right side against the 1/4 inch mark there. Be sure to use the scoring tool. It'll change everything if you try to use the cutting tool. So once I've done my 1/4 inch, I'm going to go to the 1/2 inch mark like that. And just give it a good score. And then I'm going to turn 90 degrees and repeat. So prepare to place water in concrete and watch it dry because it's really going to be boring for a second. So there was 1/4 inch. And a 1/2 inch, turn 90 degrees, and a 1/4, and another 1/2, only one more, hold with me, and then we'll twist one more time and do the final 1/4 inch, and the 1/2 inch. Okie doke. Now you can do one of two things. You can display your card with the embossed side going up. So this would be like little divots, or you could turn it over and put the embossed side up. And I'm going to do that one for this one. What did I do on the first one? I did the other way. So you can do either way you like, but I'm going to try it this way for this one. And that's really all there is to it. We're going to do a little more stamping on here before we start building our collage. But before I do that, I want to get some die cutting and embossing done. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. You can see, if you take this large die from the set, it matches up with these 3 flowers. Can you see those 3 flowers right there? Let's see if I can show them to you. These 3 flowers right here. And it's gonna go on, well, let's see, hang on a second. First, you gotta make your brain work. You know, making your brain work is always the hard piece here. Where's that flower? Where did you go, flower? I think I'm looking at the wrong ones. I think it's maybe this one. Good Lord. Hang on a second. Put it down, Mary. Huh, there we go. Maybe it's that one. Wait a minute. I really did make this card. No, there we go. Okay. Whew. You ever have that moment in your life like that? Okay, so it goes in like so. You can see that the cutting edge is facing up, so it matches the side that has the printing on it, right? All right. So the only reason I really showed you this is just to be sure I knew what in the heck I was doing, but also to kind of give myself an idea of where to stamp my flowers on my piece of cardstock, okay? So I cut the cardstock large. If I wasn't doing a video, I might have tried to get a little bit closer to it, but I figured if I did that, I would for sure not have a big enough piece. So I'm going to just stamp that right about in the center. And you can see I've already got it on my block. So we're going to stamp right about there. Okay, that's all we're going to do to start with. And then I'll play with that one more time. And, whoop. I need a third hand right now. Okay, so I am going to stamp the outline in Petal Pink. Hey guys, hey Daryl. Thanks, I appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. I'm going to stamp the outline in Petal Pink. Be sure I'm stamping right again. Yeah, looks like I am. I'm going to bork this again, I can already tell. My brain and I are not really, I'm just going to stamp it. It'll work. I'll figure it out. Okay, there we go. So there's the outline. And then I'm going to stamp the fill images in Stamped Off Once Calypso Coral. Okay, I tried it with full strength. It was just too much. Okay, so you get 3 stamp fill images, 1 for each of the flowers. So I'm just going to ink, stamp off once, and then line it up on that outline. And it's pretty easy to do. You just kind of have to take a second to do it. And it's a lot easier if you're not trying to keep your big noggin out of the camera. So I didn't do that great, but it'll be okay. All right. We'll do another one, see if I can get it better. I may have to just annoy you no end and pull it to me. I'm going to do that so that I don't do all 3 of them wonky, okay? Because I don't like to do stuff wonky. There we go. And then we'll do the third one, which is the little one. The little one. Like so. Okay. So that's it. Okay. Okay. There we go. Gosh, I just did that terribly. I can't do it, guys. I'm sorry. I can't. It just was going to make me insane. So I'm going to start over. Okay. I'm starting again. Yes, you can't make me not. Why? I mean, you can leave if you want, but I'm going to do it. So there you go. Because it was bugging me. And I would have probably wakened up in the middle of the night and taken it all completely apart and then tried again. And so I don't want to do that. So let's try this again. And this time, I seriously am pulling it to me to get a good image, okay? Sorry about that, y'all. You know how I am. I just have to have it be a little closer to right. Okay, there we go. It's my show. It's my show. You are right. Thank you, Judy. Okay, we're going to stamp off right there. Judy, Judy, Judy. Only a few more weeks till the retreat. Hang on. Got to hold my mouth just right, or I'll stamp this wrong a second time. There we go. Whew. And Amy is coming to the retreat. Yay. All right, hang on a second. I got to pull it to me. See, I did that the last time. I tried to get, you know, be all arrogant and stuff and do it out away from myself. There we go. Okay, now before I emboss, I'm going to take my dark lemon lolly. I'm going to color the center of this flower and add a little bit of color to the center of this flower. And then right here, you can kind of see it. You see right in here, you can see the stamen is stamped, but they didn't add in the fill color, which is nice because you can add a little bit of yellow like that to give a little bit of color. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is we're going to go off stage right, and I'm going to, boy by golly, I'm going to get this if it just kills me. All right, there we go. Okay, so you're going to kind of click the die into the embossing side. Remember, that's the side with the writing on it. And then you're going to turn this and you're going to set it and turn like so. Okay, and then you can kind of hold it up and turn until you get, what did I do here? Did I do this wrong? No, I didn't. Hang on a second. My brain and my eyes are not talking to each other today. I do not know. Here we go. It was right, but my brain was telling me that my eyes were lying to me. What is up with that? Okay, there we go. And then you can just kind of pull it around until you get the stamp where it belongs. And is this a little persnickety? Yes. Is it worth it? Yes, because you know why? It's going to cut and it's going to emboss beautiful texture in it all at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to close that up, and then when you're using a hybrid embossing folder, you're going to want to use the 3D embossing sandwich. So you have plate 1, no shim, put your embossing folder with your cardstock and die in, and then use the plate number 4. Y'all, if you don't have plate number 4 for using with your hybrids and your 3D embossing folders, just get it. I think it's like $12. It's cheap and it will make your life so much easier. So stand by 1. I'm going to go off screen and emboss this, and we'll see what magic will happen. Okay. And then we have 3 flowers. It slipped a little bit maybe, but it's okay. And I don't know, can you see that it's got embossing right on it? So you get a little bit of curl, you get some depth, and you've already got the stamping because you stamped it. So you get stamping and cutting and embossing really, really quick, and it's beautiful. All right, so let's put that aside. Now, we are going to start doing a little bit of assembly. And I'm going to do okay, I want those, the little embossed side up. I'm going to use this little hash mark at some point here to add a little bit of color. And I've also done a little bit of die cutting ahead of time. There's actually 2 very pretty label dies. So you have a circle label and you have a rectangular, and they add little stitches as they're cutting. So I've cut 2 of these because, you know, I'm likely to make a mistake. That's for my sentiment. And then, ooh, I love, love, love the leaves. You get a regular leaf and like a maple leaf or an oak leaf. And what I did is I cut 2 of these, one in Granny Apple Green and one in Old Olive. And then I did 3 of these, 2 in Granny Apple Green and 1 in Old Olive. And then you have 2 large flowers and 2 small flowers, and I cut 1 of each of these in Calypso Coral and Cajun Craze. And we're going to make our little flowers out of those. Okie doke. All right. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. We'll assemble our flowers first. Well, I will once I see my thing. Here we go. Thanks, Bonnie. I appreciate that. Thanks, Robin. I'm just going to put a little dab of liquid glue in the middle of my large flowers. And I'm going to put the opposite color on. And instead of lining up straight or lining up completely wonky, I'm going to put it just a little bit shy of lined up straight, just like that. Okay, just to make it a little more eclectic flower right there. And then we'll do the same here, a little bit less. Don't be silly. Okay, so those can just sit. And then basically all you do at this point is you start putting your elements on your card. Okay, you're building a collage, and you can kind of start with what you think it's going to look like. I know I have 3 flowers, and I know I've got some leaves. And yes, of course, I know where everything's going because I've already made one. So that it's a little cheating, but you know, it is what it is. It'll be all right. You know what I mean. You know what I'm going to tell you should do, right? You just keep putting these on and moving them around, and then your brain goes, yep, there it is. And some people use the press and seal method it doesn't work well for me, so I'm not even going to try to explain it. I'm just going to say I take a picture with my phone, because there it is. My phone is right there. We'll put a flower, and then we've got another. I love these leaves right here. These are my favorite leaves. I can see that this die set with that leaf is going to be high on the list of cool stuff. Okay, and then this is going to go down here somewhere, and then we'll have our sentiment. Okay, so what I want to do now is, I know I'm just going to kind of stamp that crumb cake hash mark kind of around this area. Okay, so let's just do that and see what we get. Yes, everything is scored and very, very nice. The other thing about these is, if you want to, you could curl them. I did not curl them for this, but you could curl the petals a little bit on the flowers, and I think you'd be quite happy with it. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp out here, maybe out here, down here, and then I'm going to do a stamped off one. I'm going to turn it a little bit like that, just to add a little more texture, a little more interest, like that. Okay, so now we're going to start doing a little adhering. I'm going to use liquid glue to start. Hey, Mommy Roo, appreciate you coming. We're going to start up here. And then this little guy, this medium guy, he's going to be right here. And I'm going to put this guy with his stamen sticking out so you can see it. And I'm going to use dimensionals for him. All right. But since I'm not entirely sure what's going to want to slide under where, I'm going to do my normal thing where I keep my dimensionals towards the center of my die cut. All right. That way I can tuck under without having to. I mean, you can tuck under when you have a dimensional, but you're going to have to do some trimming and cutting, and that always, it makes me sad. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if it's because I'm thinking, wow, you really, really, really should have done a better job planning, or if I'm feeling bad because I'm cutting off the things. Okay, so here we go. We're going to stick him down like so. Let's go ahead and get us a sentiment going so we aren't, I can tell I would do something silly like, you know, put it all together without anything, and then I'd be going, where is my sentiment? And I'm stamping thanks for being so kind. This is one of the sentiments in the set, and I'm using Cajun Craze, and I'm just going to center it. Don't care if it's straight because I can turn the circle. Circles are great because there's no up or down until you make it an up or down, right? I'm going to close this. Let's close this. Don't be so silly, Mary. You don't want to be so silly. So silly. Now, it'll help you a little bit if you put your card front on the front of your card like so that you can see how far off of the edge of your card front you can go without getting over the edge of the card base. Very important. Why? Because you don't want to not be able to stick it in an envelope, because I mean, kind of the whole point here is to put it in an envelope. Okay, but I'm going to come out here, and I know that these little gaps are going to be covered, right? Because, how do I know that? Well, because I've made one, and because I know I'm going to be covering up with my sentiment and a very nice little bow. Slide that under there like that. And again, I want to put my card front in place, and I need to turn that a little bit before he dries. I really do want him to fall off of the card front. I really do. I love it when they do that, but I don't want it to extend past my card base. Hey, Debbie. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. And we'll put this guy down here. Do you ever wish you had like 4 hands? I sometimes do. And then I think, what would you do with 4 hands, really? I don't know. Okay, now before I start adhering any more, I think what I want to do is get my sentiment in place. And I'm going to first use some new, where did you go? Here you are. This is some new gold twisted thread, another online exclusive, coming out on the 5th. Not from this, well, this isn't a suite, this is a bundle, but this is from one of the suites. And what I'm gonna do, now, this is how I did this. If you want to just make 2 lengths of this and tie a bow, you can certainly do that. But I was trying to keep a little bit less dimension there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put a couple of glue dots right here, like that right there. I may have to move one. And then I'm going to take my 2 lengths of thread, and I'm going to make like a figure 8. Okay, so I'm going to make a figure 8 like that. Let me make it a little bit closer to the end. Okay. And then we're going to do the other loop, because figure 8s almost routinely have 2 loops. So what we're doing is we're making kind of a faux bow, a figure 8 bow is what I would call it. And I will call it that on the blog. And it's going to look like this. And it's hard to see it right now, but that's going to be the idea. So here we go. I'm going to make a loop like this. And hook it on that glue dot. And then I'm going to take this end and make another loop. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. I kind of like this because you can really shape the loops however you like. Okay? Like that. Okay? Now that looks very, very ugly, but look what happens when you put your sentiment over the top. It stops being ugly very quick. And then you can start playing. This needs to be a little less. You'll see I have not cut it loose from my thread, right? Just pull them around. And you know, this is a little bit like making a double loop linen thread bow. Play with it, put it where you want it. It's paper, it's twine, it's things like that. So make it do what you want it to do. Okay, so that's gonna go like that, and I like how that looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that over there and then cut my ends like so. And then I'm going to put my dimensionals right on the top of the, on the card front, not on the sentiment. And we can adhere our sentiment over the bow. Now, if you decide that you want to, hang on, I need to turn my fan on just a second. If you guys decide that you would rather, instead of doing this kind of a faux figure 8 bow, if you'd like to tie a bow with 2 lengths of this twine, you're probably going to want to use double stack dimensionals to get over the top of that knot, okay? So that's kind of why I did this sort of bow, because I don't know why I didn't want to, but I didn't want to, okay? I don't need to have a reason, right? It was because it was Saturday. How about that? I just made that up just right then. Okay, and then just put your dimensionals down and then pick up the lids. Now, we're fixing to get to the point where you do have to make the sentiment straight, so I have to do that right. come off of there. Okay. Now, straighten my card base, straighten my card front so that I put my sentimente on straight. And that'll be half the battle, or like even 3/4 of the battle. If you get your sentiment straight. Once your sentiment is straight, life is good. You know what I'm saying? There you go, Bonnie. But see, I wanted you to know that there was like some logic. It wasn't just because. It was because there was logic. There was total logic in there, right? Okay. Now, I'm going to put this little guy on with a dimensional. I'm going to keep him in the middle because I'm going to tuck it. I'm going to tuck, 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 tuck. Here we go. Right about there. And then let's see, we'll put one of these Granny Apple Green, my favoriteest green. Hey, Virginia, I appreciate you coming. Not to worry about being late, it's the weekend. I'm just grateful you're here. And we'll slide this little guy under here like so. Pick up those things. See, another time when having a third hand would have been awesome. We'll put that under like that. Okay. And then I'm going to put my one leaf here, but I'm going to put this other leaf on first. Right up here. And he's going to go over the bow, but under the sentiment. And I'm going to pull him out. Now look, this would normally make me insane. I wouldn't like that at all, that I could see that stem like that, but I'm going to cover it with a flower. So it does not matter. So I'm going to put a dimensional down, and I'm going to adhere this flower with that dimensionality. And let's see, we're going to put this guy up here. Make sure you don't cover your sentiment. Okay. And one more with a dimensional. Thank you, Bonnie. I appreciate you. I'm going to take that lid off because they're starting to be a little bit of a pain, aren't they? Starting to be a little bit of a pain. We'll put that dimensional right there. And then cut our flower right there like that. Okay, now, just to finish it off, I am going to use yet another new item. Thank you, Bonnie. I appreciate you. All right, now, these are adhesive-backed heart sequins, and they are also new in the online exclusives. I'm going to use these little ones for the flower centers. Right there. One right there, like that. And then I think I'll put a big one over here and a big one up here and possibly another big one right about there. Okay, and there's your card front like so. So give me an opportunity to do the inside. I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. Did I make that right? Okay. Now, for the inside, I'm going to stamp one flower, and I'm going to use the large flower in petal pink. But what I want, I don't know what that, oh, that's just a little bit of nothing. I'm going to just do the large flower down in the corner like so. And I will do my envelope at the same time, if I can find him. If I could find my envelope, we'll put him on the front. And then on the flap, because I don't have any DSP, I'm going to not use any DSP. I'm going to use this middle flower right there on the envelope flap. And now it's just a matter of doing my stamped off Calypso coral, and we'll be done, Skay. So I need my large flower for the front and the inside. Let's do the inside. Stamp him off. And then line him up. And he really is pretty easy to line up. The edges are not so symmetrical that you sit here and you have to turn it for 2.5 hours trying to find it. But you do need to line it up. Okay, like that. And we'll do it again on the envelope front. Yeah, see how dark the Calypso coral is? That would be way too dark. Way too dark. Okay. And like that. Oh, I missed it. Well, it's okay. It's art. It's art. Oh, shiminy Christmas. Sorry, guys. I better fix that because you know I'll have it turned around, so I have to use that end. All right, let's see. This one is a little more. There we go. All right, let me get him lined up. Dun, 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 dun. Hello from Texas. How are things down in Texas these days? Are you hurricaning? Maybe not. I hope not. I'm using that dark So Saffron again to color the stamens. Remember when you use a Stampin' Blend on the front of your envelope to not press down real hard? If you are a press down harder person, then you're going to want to put a piece of plastic inside the envelope to protect the back because the Stampin' Blends will bleed through if you are not careful. And then we'll color the stamen on the inside liner. And I'll go ahead. Oh, that's not my that's my sample. That's my sample. We'll go ahead and put this together. We'll put the inside in with some liquid glue. Wherever it may be, wherever it may be. Okie dokie. There we go. Obviously, you can use whichever non-dimensionalized adhesive you prefer. If you're a Stampin' Seal person, feel free. Just don't dimensionalize the inside. I mean, I just wouldn't do that. That isn't what I would do. I mean, I don't guess there's like a rule that says you couldn't, but I wouldn't. But I will dimensionalize the front with my trademark 9 half dimensionals. It's not a trademark. You're welcome to use it. Alrighty, here we go. Oh, yes, yes, don't let them die, Alicia. That would be really sad. 78 tomorrow. Yep, that's kind of how we've been here. We're watching for that first frost. I'll need to get the last green tomatoes off the vine before we get hard frost. And I figure it can be any day now. Any day now. Let me be sure I'm putting this on straight and right side up, not wrong side down. There we go. Okie doke. And there is the Happy Hibiscus. A pretty, with a free extra dimensional cover. There we go. A couple of pretty thank you cards. And I hope you're excited to get this on the 5th if you aren't a demonstrator and don't have it already. If you aren't a demonstrator and would like to be, you've still got time to get in on the awesome joining special. You get an extra $30 in Stampin' products, and you can pick these if you'd like to. So you get $155 for a $99 entry fee, as it were, and you get everything shipped for free. All right, guys, I appreciate you. I hope you've had a good time, and I appreciate you spending part of your weekend with me. Thank you so much. Ta.